We're going to look at the idea of something called a variable now. So firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a short program that is going to print the lyrics to the Happy Birthday song. So as we know, if we want to print something out, we can do system.out.print line, and then we'll type Happy Birthday to you. Okay. And then we're going to repeat that because it's happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear whoever, and then happy birthday to you again. So in order to do that, again, I just want the same statement. Now I'm going to show you a quick shortcut which is quite useful in IntelliJ IDEA. Instead of typing system.out.println, if you type SOUT and press the tab button, it will actually put that in for you to save you typing. So that's quite useful. So we'll put happy birthday to you again. Use that same shortcut, SOUT, and hit tab. Happy birthday, dear person. And then we can also copy and paste. So I'm going to copy and paste that there. Okay, now we have got, well, let's just run it, check it works first of all. But we've got some repetition in our code, okay? And if we wanted to, change this to, I don't know, capitalize the B and the Y of birthday and you, we've got to edit it 3 times for the B and 3 times for the Y, which is a bit time consuming. So what would be really good is if we could store the line and then reuse that line. And that's where variables come in. So what I'm going to do instead is before this first line, I'm going to say string. So if we remember, these things are called string literals, so literally a string. So I'm going to create something, and when I create a variable, I start in Java by declaring the type of thing it is. So I'm going to say string, and then the next thing I need to do is to give it a name, okay? So I'm going to maybe call it songline, okay? Now there is a convention in Java to how we name variables. Okay, if the variable is a single word, we write it all in lowercase. If it was just line, we'd say line. If it's got multiple words in it, because we can't use spaces in variable names, what we do instead is capitalize the first letter of subsequent words in the description. So if we did really long, so if we called it like line of happy birthday song, you'll see we've capitalized the second, third, fourth, and fifth words, first letters, okay? It's a good idea when you name your variables to describe what they store, okay? You might have seen code where people just write things like string x equals, okay? That's not helpful. I don't know what x is, so I'm going to say songline because that describes relatively succinctly what I'm going to store. And then I'm going to assign, using the equals symbol, a string literal, happy birthday to you, to the songline variable. Okay, and we need a semicolon at the end of the line, so we'll put a semicolon in there. Okay, now where I previously used the string literal, I can actually say instead, well, okay, instead of using a string literal, I'm going to use songline. Okay, and I'm going to replace all of the instances of that line where it's happy birthday to you with songline. Okay, so this is, let's label this up. This is a string variable, okay, and then we're using that string variable here. And if I run it again, the output will be exactly the same, but if I want to change the B to a capital B and the Y to a capital Y and run it again, I've only got to change it once. And we really want to avoid repetition in our programming code, because repetition is the opportunity for an error to get in. Okay, so we really want to avoid that happening when we write code, and we'll learn lots of ways of avoiding repetition. So there we go. This is a string variable. We've made the string variable with a string literal, and we've used it. Okay.